the thing, and I want to make this very, very, very clear. Okay. Diddy should be very careful right now. He won't be. Don't worry. He won't be, but he should be. All right. So let me just tell you what I've been hearing. Diddy is surrounded by people, and they seem to be fawning all over him. But one thing I know is you never go against the House, and the House is the U.S. Attorney's Office. And I would expect the U.S. Attorney's Office to still be keeping a very, very close eye on this person. Because there's a lot of stuff, I would imagine, that they couldn't bring up at the trial, that they didn't have time to investigate. You know, Mark Agnifilo rushed that trial ahead. But hear me out. A lot of people that are sucking up to Diddy right now, that Diddy thinks is his audience, his minions, his whatever, baby, they are also trying to get their sentences shortened. They are also trying to make sure that they can see their kids and their wives and their girlfriends or their boyfriends, whatever the case may be. They also want to get out as soon as possible. And maybe I'm wrong, but one of the ways to get out as soon as possible is to sing like a canary.
Welcome back to ABC News Live reports. Sean Diddy Combs is facing new sexual assault allegations. The LA Sheriff's Department says that it's investigating a report from an alleged victim in Florida. That alleged victim has identified himself as music producer Jonathan Hay in social media posts that have since been removed. A spokesperson for Combs has not responded to ABC News' request for comment. Combs is currently serving a federal prison sentence after he was convicted of transportation to engage in prostitution earlier this year.
Months, Sean Combs, a.k.a. Diddy, a.k.a. inmate 37452-054, has been living in a little slice of hell called the Metropolitan Detention Center in Brooklyn, New York. It's where the disgraced rapper, businessman, and music producer has spent the duration of his infamous celebrity trial, and it's been accused of harboring mold, rats, and nasty drafts. A jail that has featured figures such as Luigi Mangione and the Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell. And in that time, Diddy has probably found a whole new meaning in the title of his debut solo album, No Way Out. While waiting for his...
Now see, there was a lot of things going on suspicious under the Kim Porter thing, for those of y'all that know about the Kim Porter situation. You know, I don't know how true it is, but they say Kim Porter passed on a lot of things before she passed away untimely. That maybe or maybe not is used in this situation, but when you dealing with these high rollers, like they told you in training day, you can't just roll up to them and slap the cuffs on them, dog. Shout out to my boy Bootsy. Rest in peace. But you can't just roll up to some of these people and slap the cuffs on them. They got too much power, they got too much influence. And if you're dealing in the dirt so long, there's certain things that's gonna go in your favor. But we gotta understand, was Diddy involved in a lot of this? We don't know. But we can definitely find out.
Knew this and knew that, and she saw this and she saw that. Let me just say this, right? I'm not, for the record, I'm not going to assume that some random, and I use that term random, was Kim Porter's friend just because it was typed in some tweet or Instagram post, okay? Instead, I'm going to rely on Kim Porter's known friends to speak on her behalf. And see, the thing is, the people and the weirdos trying to clout chase off of that don't know, as much as they like to clap back, that I know people that know Kim Porter's real friends, both from back in the day before anybody even knew Diddy and up to the moment she actually passed away. So again, these randoms on Instagram and Twitter that are making up things to attack Cassie in Kim Porter's name, it's not even the fact of me defending Cassie. I don't know Cassie, right? But listen, I don't know Cassie. And to be honest, I don't really know people that know Cassie. But when people go on record and say something, why is everybody defending these random people? I will defend and depend on Kim Porter's actual friends, people that actually knew Kim Porter, either in business situations, in social situations, in casual situations, and yes, in friendship situations, okay? Just because you typed it in a tweet don't make it true. And I find it odd that once people find out that you have no receipts and no evidence, heaven have fury on your soul. Because, listen, like I said, I'm going to rely on Kim Porter's known friends to speak on Kim's behalf. And I'll say this right now, if you can't produce one single photo with Kim Porter or one single photo of you hanging out with any of her friends, both.
So what do y'all think? Do y'all think it's one of those things where, I know we all seen the video of him beating on Cassie, and it's crazy and it's wild and it's fucked up, but who leaked that video? And okay, if as bad as they say it is, why aren't the cuffs on P. Diddy right now? People will believe anything that most people tell them. And like I said before in previous videos, I truly believe P. Diddy is just an asshole, plain and simple. Y'all remember making the band where he made them walk to Brooklyn for the freaking cheesecake. So y'all remember what was going on. So a lot of people have no sympathy for Diddy right now. No sympathy. But I tend to believe that there's a higher play going on right now between the powers that be. And Diddy is just low-hanging fruit. It's hard to say, right? Because a man is worth almost $1 billion, or was, but he's low-hanging fruit to the powers that be and those who are not named. Y'all gonna understand that sooner or later.
Fame and riches may earn him certain privileges in prison, but it may also put him in greater danger. People convicted of sex crimes have historically found themselves at the bottom of the carceral totem pole. They are often much more likely to find themselves as victims of prison violence, even from their fellow cons. When you add in fame to the mix, things get even more dangerous, especially if you find yourself in the proximity of lifers, for whom prison credit is the only capital that matters anymore. Could the same situation be a risk for Sean Combs as he prepares for prison life with the details of his crimes made so public? Clearly, his lawyers think so because they've been petitioning to ensure that he doesn't end up anywhere too hardcore. Their prison of choice for this disgraced rapper would be FCI Fort Dix in New Jersey, a low-security federal pen operated by the Bureau of Prisons. It has previously held such high-profile criminals as Martin Pharma Bro Shkreli and Christopher Koch, the ringleader of the Jamaican drug gang, the Shower Posse. Their logic being that the Fort Dix prison had a drug rehabilitation program that could help Combs with his addiction issues, and being in a low-security prison would allow for maximum family visitation time. As it stands, whether this appeal works or what prison Diddy will end up in is still very much up in the air. The wheels of justice often move extremely slowly, and in Diddy's case they are barely even turning. The judge behind his sentencing, Judge Arun Subramanian, has said that this is all up to the Bureau of Prisons itself. With so many people arguing that Diddy's sentence is nowhere near as severe as his crimes, you may be wondering what future awaits Diddy after his 50 months in jail have been served. Well, he's expected to be released in 2028, unless anything that occurs in jail leads to his sentence being extended or cut short dramatically or otherwise. But Combs won't just be returning to his old life after he's released from prison. Not only is his reputation deservedly in tatters, but he's also been sentenced to 5 years of supervised release following his sentence behind bars. For starters, as a condition of this release, he'll need to be part of an outpatient treatment program for drug abuse and mental health issues, as well as an entirely different program for domestic violence. As is standard for ex-cons, he'll be barred from owning a firearm. He'll need to hand over his financial records to his probation officer to ensure that he hasn't returned to any of his criminal enterprises. If his probation officer has any reasonable suspicion that he has violated the terms of his parole, he'll have to submit to searches of his person, property, and electronic devices. One of the most important of those terms being that he cannot contact and cannot encourage anyone else to contact his prior victims. He will be required to work at least 30 hours a week, and he is only permitted to live at a location approved by the probation department. His probation officer is allowed to drop in on him unannounced at any time, in addition to regular drug tests to make sure he is staying clean. While Diddy's sentence might not match the scale of his crimes, there is some comfort in knowing that freedom won't free him from what he's done. The damage he has caused and the people he hurt will follow him long after the cell door opens. You've seen what
are watching you, and you're engaging in behavior that is illegal, and you're engaging in paying off, buying off PO officers, this, that, and the third, which is illegal, to get cushy jobs so you can still be in power because your friends are and your connections. That's why you wanted to go to Fort Dix. Well, I would imagine if something was going on, the federal government's watching it. And the federal government is just sitting, keeping track. So when they can jump in and grab you and make sure that they can add more charges on top of it, or at the very least extend the time. Now, I will say, I don't think anybody in Fort Dix is being bought off. I don't think that Diddy used his money, power, influence, or anything in a paper bag. I just think he asked that person to bring money in a paper bag because they ran out of toilet paper. And he's so rich, that's what he wipes his butt with, right? Because if it is anything nefarious, and if there is a network in the federal prison, and if you are using your power and influence to get favors in any which way, the federal government is watching. And it's not even the federal government. It seems like there's a lot of people in the borough prisons that don't like your attitude, and they're not going to bow down.
Interesting topic to revisit Diddy. It seems that a lot of people are still talking about the Diddy situation and talking about what happened in the past with Cassie and to the present occurring and future events that might happen when it comes to Diddy. Now, I said before in previous videos that there are people out there called those who are not named, and it could be some higher play going on with this thing with Diddy. But I thought it was an interesting topic today to revisit Diddy and to look back at some of the things that he went through, he put other people through, and that he may go through in the future. And I wanted y'all to come along for the ride. As always, tell me what you think about this video and subscribe to the channel. It's your man, Kris B.